Yo, what is going on YouTube? This your boy Kamen Zero Spike back again once again. And today, people, today we're here for Don Brothers Avataro Sentai Donbrothers episode 27, and this is the episode. This is the climax of the the Sonoy and Tato little rivalry. But we know that Sonoy is not going nowhere, man. Sonoy is a very cool character and I really like Sonoy. Like, he's not really a villain, but like I kind of consider like the Sarah brands like their own, like, they're the certain type of good guys, but they're like maybe anti-hero ish. But man, Sonoy and the rest of them are pretty freaking cool, and I really like these three characters. I didn't think I would like them. Sonoza, he's okay, but the other two, yeah, they're pretty cool. So basically start off in this episode with Sonoy finally coming up to Tato and trying to basically settle the score that they have with each other, and they both agree. They both have 3 days to basically get ready for this, and we see that Tato basically wants the rest of the crew to basically stay out of this, and also we see, basically stay out of this, and we also see that Tato isn't really willing to train. Like, he really isn't willing to train because he's a perfect kind of character. Like, basically he's just a prodigy at everything that he does. He can look at one thing and get good at it the next second later. So what does he really need to train for? So the rest of the crew, the rest of the Don brothers are basically asking him to train, but he don't need to. Like, he sincerely, like, really doesn't need to. So we see that Sonoy is basically doing his own version of training, which was very cool. He actually trains against the other two Sarah brands, and they henshin up, but he decides to train against them while not henshining up, and actually is able to be able to take both of them down without even having to transform. We did see that Sonoy, after the 3 days are over, we do see that Sonoy goes to the meeting spot they were supposed to be able to fight in, but we see that while he's sitting there waiting, everybody else is like, except Kaito, but everybody else is like, oh man, they must be fighting right now. The clock strikes noon, and turns out that Tato doesn't even show up. We see that Tato ends up coming back to the cafe with everybody else, and everybody asks him, aren't you supposed to be fighting him? He says, yeah, I haven't gone yet. So he ends up going back to work, and we see that Sonoy is like fed up with, like, why didn't you come fight me? He's like, yeah, why didn't you come fight me? And he's like, well, I'm working right now, and me fighting you is a personal matter. My job takes priority. So he's delivering Tato's basically delivering packages. So Sonoy basically goes up to him and says, oh yeah, okay, since you want to do this, I'll just go ahead and help you deliver all these packages so we can hurry up and get to our fight. So throughout the city, we see that throughout the city, he's helping Tato deliver all these packages and all that and things like that. And we end up seeing the return of two characters who became Hitotsuki earlier in the series. We see the woman who is like super craving for attention, and we see the other dude who was the ninja. He was a ninja Hitotsuki, and then he returns later as a Majireja Hitotsuki. So we end up seeing that they actually, after they're done with everything, they end up going back to the designated spot they're supposed to fight in, and they end up beginning their battle. But that's when Jiru steps in and tries to fight Sonoy because he doesn't want Sonoy to end up defeating Tato, because Jiru actually wants to be the one to end up defeating Tato. So Sonoy is battling Jiru at the moment, and then that's when Don Murasame ends up return of him, he ends up coming up, and actually his mother basically tells him that Tato is an enemy of the Sarah brands. So that's when Don Murasame and Tato start fighting each other as well. While that's happening, we see that a new Hitotsuki ends up showing up. It is the guy who was a Hitotsuki before, which I didn't know could happen. I didn't know someone could become a Hitotsuki twice. but he ended up becoming Hitotsuki again, but now he is a magic wielding Hitotsuki, which is basically Majidenja, and he's also here. He's basically using all these different elemental attacks to basically fight Taro and the other fight Taro and the rest of the crew, rest of the people there. Then out of nowhere, that's when the rest of the Dawn brothers end up appearing there, because a Hitotsuki is basically around, and they ended up trying to fight out the Hitotsuki, and then a bunch of bestials actually show up. A bunch of them, a bunch of people possessed bestials show up, and we saw the return of the other woman who was also a bestial, who was the woman that Sonoi fought in that alleyway. She returns with a bunch of other people, a bunch of other disguised bestials, and also the bestial that's also constantly chasing around Tsubasa. He is also there. So there's this big brawl just happening all around Sonoi and Taro. So we see that Taro and Sonoi actually end up getting out of there, and that's when we see, that's when they see that they end up patching things up, and while they're talking to each other, we get more lore about who the bestials are and who technically who, and kind of sort of who Don Murasame is. We see that we know that the Cerebrans need human brain waves to basically exist. They feed off of it. So the Dawn clan end up trying to find a way for the Cerebrans to feed off of something else and not human brainwaves. So they created the bestials. So the bestials were a failed experiment. So since they couldn't, since the Dawn clan could not control the bestials, they end up sealing the bestials away. We did see during the big brawl fight, the big battle royale fight, technically, the bestials were sort of invincible. Like, no one could really hurt the bestials, and everybody was there. Even the other two, even Sonoi and Sononi were also there. So while that's happening, we end up seeing after that, Sonoi and Taro end up going off to have their somewhat final battle. While that's going on, we see that everybody else who's fighting on in the big field area, we see that the bestials end up leaving. Yeah, the bestials end up leaving, and the other two Cerebrans end up leaving as well. And that's when we see Jiru. He hinges up into Don Totobolt, and he ends up taking down this Hitotsuki. So we get our mech fight, and we end up seeing both our Megazords actually team up together this time, and we see Don Orimajin, and I haven't gotten Jiru's mecha name down yet, but hey, he was there, and they ended up taking down this Hitotsuki together. After that, we end up seeing Sonoi and Taro end up going back to this bridge area, and they end up having their final battle, which is where Taro ends up taking him down in one hit. After that, we see Taro just walks away, and Sonoi is left laying there. But out of nowhere, we see Don Murasame. He ends up coming up and picking up Sonoi and leaving with him. So that was very, very. I didn't expect that to happen. I really didn't. I didn't expect that. Murasame to showing up and doing something else. Maybe his mother in his head kind of told him to go get Sonoi, things like that. But other than that, this was a great episode. This episode had a great mixture of action, a great mixture of lore building, and also a great mixture of the funny, the comedy that this show is very, very good at. So hopefully, most likely we're going to see Sonoi again. Sonoi is a very cool character, in my opinion. He's actually one of the first characters we actually end up seeing. One of the coolest characters. One of the first coolest characters we ever seen currently in this series. And I'm hoping that he ends up coming back with maybe a power-up. We see that later on that Taro is going to end up getting some kind of power-up as well. Something past his Robotaro form. But yeah, man, that's basically, this episode was absolutely great. Like it had so much, like it was, everything kind of moved kind of fast, but at the same time it was like it was kind of a simple kind of episode. It didn't feel fillery, you know, things like that. And it had a perfect mix of a lot of things that were a perfect mix of what makes Don Brothers so freaking great. You know, this is a very amazing, this is a very, very good series, and I'm so happy. I'm glad we end up got some more lore building, and we can see that the bestials have multiplied, because we've really only seen 3 bestials. I mean, the only bestial that really wasn't there was Miho. You know, Miho wasn't there. You know, and she's the crane bestial or whatever. But you know, maybe she would have been fighting off the other bestials. We see that the all the bestials kind of look the same. Technically, they all kind of look the same. They're all like that blue cat looking bestial thing. But other than that, man, this was a great episode. Everybody was out here. Everyone was here. It felt like Smash Bros, but everyone was here, and with the exception of a new character, which is the Magic Hitotsuki. But other than that, this was a great episode, man. I was kind of hoping to see, like, if everybody was gonna be here, why Kaito didn't jump in, you know? Why Kaito didn't come out here and start knocking ankles loose, you know? But other than that, you guys let me know down in the comment section below what you guys think about this episode of Don Brothers, and make sure to like, share, subscribe, hit that notification bell, and I'm gonna see you guys next time. And remember, stay henshined.